Chosen one, something extraordinary is unfolding in your life right now, even if you cannot see it yet. You may have been wrestling with doubt, feeling overlooked or overshadowed by those around you, but there is a resounding declaration from heaven that your time of breakthrough has come. Do not turn away from these words, because this is the very moment you have been praying for. You stand on the threshold of a season when God's favor will lift you above every limitation, and those who once doubted you will witness the greatness of God at work in your life. You might have questioned your worth, wondering if the setbacks and closed doors were signs that you are on the wrong path. In reality, these challenges have been refining you, testing your resilience, and preparing you for a destiny so significant that if you saw it all at once, you might not believe it was meant for you. The valley you have been walking through is not your permanent dwelling place. God has been using it as sacred ground to shape your character and expand your capacity to receive the blessing He has already planned. All along, He has been whispering that the promise is nearer than you think. Imagine a seed buried deep under the soil. It seems hidden and forgotten, yet beneath the surface a transformation takes place. The darkness pushes the seed to develop roots. The soil becomes the environment where it learns to anchor itself, drawing nutrients from sources unseen. Then, when the time is right, it breaks through into the light, surpassing everything that once buried it. That is your story right now. You have been planted, not buried. You have been growing stronger in the hidden places of your life, and though at times you felt forgotten, you were never for a moment out of God's sight. You will rise above them all. There is a powerful stirring in the spiritual realm signaling that God is ready to reveal the fullness of His intention for you. Every rejection, every disappointment, and every tear has been forging a deeper well of empathy and strength within you. The hardships did not come to destroy you, but to prepare you for the weight of the reward that is about to be unveiled. Perhaps you have wondered why certain doors remained locked, or why certain voices of support grew silent. There is a divine wisdom at play, ensuring that when you stand in your new season, you will lean fully on God and not on human validation. It is important to embrace this truth. God's reward is not a trivial token or a fleeting comfort. It is the fulfillment of a promise that transcends human logic and limitations. It is heaven's response to your faithfulness, your perseverance, and your willingness to trust even when the nights felt endless. This reward may appear differently than you expect. It might be a restored relationship that once seemed beyond repair, a sudden opportunity that aligns perfectly with your calling, or a supernatural peace that surpasses every storm. Regardless of its form, this reward will be so undeniable that it silences every voice of doubt, including the ones in your own mind. Could it be that this divine arrangement has been orchestrated to display God's glory in the most unexpected way? Yes. When you finally rise above, it will be a testament that no human power and no depth of adversity can thwart a divine plan set in motion by the Almighty. This truth challenges you to lift your eyes above the circumstances that have weighed you down. It compels you to shake off despair and dare to hope again. After all, you are not defined by your present struggles. You are defined by the God who calls you chosen, who says you are the head and not the tail, and who ensures that in His perfect timing you will reap a harvest if you do not faint. Do you sense the shift already stirring? Can you feel faith awakening, like a spark rekindled after being smothered for too long? That is the heartbeat of the Holy Spirit, urging you to step forward with boldness and declare that you believe in the promise of God's reward. You may ask, how can I know this is for me? Listen closely. If your heart is beating with anticipation, if your spirit is ready to break out of the confines of fear, then this assurance was meant for you. Your life is not an accident. You are here by design, and the one who began a good work in you is faithful to bring it to completion. When you consider these words, let them settle deep within you. Let them unlock that chamber of hope you might have been afraid to open. You will rise above them all. God is about to reward you. The question is not whether He will come through. The question is whether you will choose to believe it, to stand firm, and to walk forward in expectation, ready to receive the blessing that has been marked with your name from the very beginning. There is a moment in every journey when the weight of past disappointments tries to convince you that it is too risky to hope again. You remember all the times you mustered your courage, stepped out in faith, and ended up with a broken heart or an unanswered prayer. But hidden in those disappointments was the seed of a deeper resilience. Each time your hope was tested, it became sturdier, preparing you for something far beyond what you were expecting. God saw your quiet tears, your silent battles, and your brave attempts to press onward despite the odds. In those hidden moments, He was shaping you for the season when everything would come together in a way that would astonish even you. The truth is, your trials have not been in vain. Every closed door that made you question your path was actually a divine redirection. Every delay that seemed like a denial was a strategy to position you exactly where you need to be. Your journey up to this point has been like standing on a stage in darkness, hearing the crowd but seeing no lights, wondering if you are truly called to perform. Yet the director has been orchestrating every cue, adjusting the spotlight to reveal the right scene at precisely the right time. When the lights finally come on, you will shine in the role meant only for you, and no human force can dim that radiance. There is a sacred hush in the heavens, as though all of creation anticipates your arrival at the fullness of destiny. The angels who have been assigned to watch over your steps are standing by, waiting to see your faith spark a miracle. It may feel surreal to think that your life, with all its wounds and worries, could be the stage for such a grand design. Yet God never needed a perfect vessel to display His perfect love. Your scars and doubts become the backdrop against which His faithfulness gleams more brightly. That is the mystery of grace. It does not require you to have all the answers, only the willingness to keep saying yes to God's leading. You might wonder why so many others around you seem to be progressing faster. You see them stepping into what appears to be success, while you are still waiting. This is where comparison becomes a snare, luring you into envy or self-pity. But God's timeline for you is unique, woven intricately into your individual purpose. If you tried to race ahead to keep pace with others, you could miss the very encounters and lessons designed for your preparation. There is a reason your journey has been different. There is a reason you have been concealed in the shadow of God's hand. When He finally reveals you on the stage of your calling, there will be no confusion about who orchestrated your breakthrough. It will be evident that it was never just your talent, your connections, or your relentless striving. It was the power of the One who exalted you in His appointed time. In this tension between waiting and anticipation, your faith is forged. Hope becomes a sturdy anchor that refuses to let you drift into despair. As you hold on to that hope, you begin to sense that the shift is closer than ever. There is a divine hush before the eruption of victory, a subtle sign that God is about to reward you openly for the tears you cried privately. Your heart might tremble with excitement, mingled with a hint of uncertainty. Do not let doubt steal this moment. Allow the stirring in your spirit to grow, to become a bold declaration that you are prepared to rise above every limit that once held you back. Let your faith be the bridge between your current reality and the mighty promise waiting to be fulfilled. When you look back on your life, there might be chapters you wish you could erase, moments of regret, decisions made in haste, or seasons of struggle that left you feeling unworthy. Yet it is often through these very chapters that God breathes hope into your future, revealing that even the darkest valleys can become places of profound encounter. There is an unseen hand at work, guiding you through each twist and turn, teaching you to rely on the steady compass of divine wisdom. The world might label you based on your lowest moments, but God looks at you through the lens of boundless mercy. If you ever doubt your worth, remember that it was sealed by a love so deep it paid the highest price to redeem you. You may find yourself asking, why does it have to be so difficult? Why does it feel like you are constantly pushing against walls that never seem to budge? There is a crucial truth hidden here. Every obstacle you face is molding your character for the extraordinary place God is preparing. If the journey were effortless, you might never discover the depth of your own resilience or the immeasurable power of God to carry you. Like a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, God is refining every rough edge in your life, ensuring that when His work is revealed, it will reflect His glory in ways you never imagined. Those who witness your transformation will stand in awe, not of your perfection, but of the grace that shaped you through trials. Sometimes, the people around you can become a source of discouragement. Perhaps they see only your outward struggles without recognizing the growth happening inside you. They might compare your pace to their own, or dismiss the quiet victories you celebrate in the silence of your heart. Yet God's affirmation far outweighs the fleeting opinions of others. He knows every detail of your story and still calls you chosen. When you allow His voice to be the loudest in your life, you gain the strength to keep moving forward, even when those close to you fail to see the miracle in progress. Their disbelief cannot hinder the destiny God has in store for you, unless you let it. This is why protecting your heart and renewing your mind with truth is so critical. Faith flourishes in the soil of divine promises, not in the shifting sands of human approval. In the quiet corners of your heart, you might sense a gentle reassurance that you are not forsaken, that there is purpose behind each delay, and that your struggle has a hidden significance. Whenever the shadows of doubt creep in, remember that darkness is powerless against even the smallest flicker of light. Let hope be that flicker. Fan it into a flame with daily moments of prayer and gratitude. By focusing on the blessings already present in your life, small or large, you train your heart to expect more good things from the hand of a God whose resources are limitless. A single word of genuine thanks can open doors in your spirit that complaints and worries keep tightly shut. Each time you choose hope over fear, you set into motion a spiritual chain reaction that shifts the atmosphere around you. Your faith becomes like ripples in a still lake, touching not just your own soul but the hearts of those who cross your path. Even those who once doubted you may begin to see a new light in your eyes, a boldness that cannot be extinguished by adversity. This subtle but powerful change in your spirit is a preview of the greater unveiling yet to come. You will rise above them all. You will see God's reward manifest in ways that confirm your journey was never in vain. Your scars will testify of battles fought and won. Your tears will become pearls of wisdom, and your faith will stand as a pillar of unwavering trust in a faithful God. There are seasons when you feel stretched to the very limit, as though life itself is testing how much your spirit can endure. You may look around and see others who appear to be sailing through calm waters, while your own vessel is battered by endless waves. It can be disheartening to watch them celebrate triumph after triumph, all the while wondering if your own victories have been delayed. Though it may seem like a lonely place, this season is actually a sacred training ground. You are learning to navigate rough seas with a faith that refuses to sink, even when the thunder roars. Each challenge is forging within you an unshakable confidence in the one who holds your destiny. If you have ever felt misunderstood or overlooked, take heart. God sees beyond surface impressions, glimpsing the person you are becoming under pressure. In this divine perspective, your trials become stepping stones toward an outcome far better than you imagined. A seed breaks open underground before anyone ever sees a sprout. A butterfly wrestles within its cocoon long before it can spread its wings. These hidden struggles are crucial to the transformation that will soon be visible to everyone around you. By the time you emerge into your breakthrough, you will not be the same person you were when you first entered the storm. You will have grown stronger, wiser, and more radiant in your purpose. Doubt is often the relentless voice urging you to give up right before the miracle unfolds. Perhaps you have heard that inner whisper telling you that your faith is futile, or that no reward awaits you on the other side of all this pain. Yet faith was never meant to be a convenient escape from reality. It is the anchor that grounds you in a greater truth, one that says God does not abandon the ones He loves. If you find yourself questioning your path, remember that the presence of questions does not mean the absence of faith. Faith remains when you decide to keep moving forward even with uncertainty clinging to your heels. It is the choice to persevere in prayer, to continue honoring your commitments, and to keep your heart open to divine possibility despite every discouraging report. It may also feel like certain relationships are falling away or shifting in ways you did not anticipate. People you once relied on for strength might suddenly distance themselves, leaving you to face some battles on your own. This pruning can be painful, but sometimes it is necessary for God to remove distractions that could cloud your focus. In the silence left behind by these partings, you are more apt to hear the still, small voice of the Spirit guiding you. In that place of solitude, you discover that your true security rests not in human approval, but in the unchanging love of the Father. It is here, in the quiet chambers of your soul, that you become intimately acquainted with a God who stays closer than any friend could. In the swirl of confusion and emotional upheaval, keep reminding yourself that each test is forging the testimony you will carry into your future. Your greatest ministry to others often emerges from the deepest wells of your pain. The empathy born from real battles cannot be faked or borrowed. It is distilled in the fires of adversity. Later, when you stand before someone who is broken and searching, you will speak from a place of genuine understanding and hope. Your words will not be theory. They will be living truth, proven in your own life. That is part of the divine reward, to become a vessel of comfort and encouragement for those who need a glimpse of light in their darkest hour. Keep your spirit alert, for the breakthrough you crave can arrive when you least expect it, sometimes in the form of a subtle shift that alters everything. The answer to a long-standing prayer may come disguised in humility, or an opportunity could emerge from a disappointing situation, revealing a hidden blessing that was always meant for you. There is no limit to how God can open the windows of heaven. Let your heart remain open and your faith remain steady, for just beyond this moment of testing lies the assurance that you will rise above them all, stepping into a victory orchestrated by the one who never forgets a single promise. There may come a day when the obstacles you face suddenly appear even larger, as though life itself is testing the very foundation of your faith. This often happens just before a significant elevation. It is as if everything in the world conspires to push you backward, almost daring you to believe in the impossible. In that tension, you discover whether your hope is truly anchored or if it has been drifting all along. Though it might seem daunting, this is the place where miracles are conceived, where the invisible hand of God intervenes in ways that defy every prediction. If you choose to keep moving forward, refusing to surrender your conviction, you open the door for God's supernatural involvement to burst into your reality. Sometimes, you may feel an inner battle raging, torn between the promise that resonates in your spirit and the harsh facts that confront your eyes. The facts may say you are out of time, out of resources, or out of chances, yet faith insists you are on the verge of a breakthrough that will redeem every tear you have shed. In this inner conflict, you learn that faith was never about denying the reality of your circumstances, but about acknowledging a higher truth that God's power can surpass every fact. Your struggle becomes a daily decision to align your thoughts, words, and actions with the hope you carry deep within. Even a single moment of choosing trust over panic can shift your perspective and remind you that the God you serve is infinitely bigger than anything you face. In the midst of these tests, it is normal to wonder if God sees how weary you have become. You may ask if He still cares, or if your prayers have lost their fervor. Let this be a gentle reassurance. Heaven has not forgotten you. Your prayers do not dissolve into empty space. They ascend into the throne room of the Almighty, where He, in perfect wisdom, is orchestrating the answers in ways far beyond what you can see. Every cry of your heart becomes a seed of destiny planted in the soil of His unfailing promise. Your weariness is the space in which divine strength takes over, lifting you up when you can no longer stand on your own. This is why those who place their trust in the Lord find renewed energy, a second wind that arrives when it is most needed. While you wait for the fulfillment of this promise, guard the atmosphere around you. If there are negative voices or influences that drain your faith, be mindful of how much power you allow them to hold. Surround yourself with people, words, and worship that elevate your perspective and remind you of God's boundless capabilities. Even a quiet moment spent meditating on God's faithfulness can infuse your soul with fresh hope. When everything seems unstable, His character remains unchanging. Meditate on that, and let your spirit absorb the truth that you have a guaranteed inheritance of victory. This inheritance is not just a one-time event. It is a lifestyle of rising above challenges with grace and power, reflecting the image of the One who called you. There is a reason all of creation seems to be holding its breath for what is about to transpire in your life. The promise has always been there, woven into your identity, even before you recognized it. The enemy knows that if you ever fully grasp who you are in Christ, you become unstoppable, a living testament of God's majesty on earth. That is why these last stretches of the journey can feel the hardest, almost like a final push before emerging into the light. Do not let go now. Let the knowledge that you will rise above them all sustain you. The trials you have endured are setting the stage for a reward so glorious that it will eclipse every sorrow. The God who makes ways where none seem to exist is writing a finale that will leave no doubt. You were chosen, prepared, and destined to stand victorious. Now comes the moment that beckons you to step into the fullness of everything your spirit has been yearning for. You have journeyed through doubts and detours, endured long nights of prayer, and walked through uncertainties that tried to erode your confidence. Yet deep down, something inside you refuses to quit, a quiet flame that grows stronger every time the wind howls against it. That flame is faith, forged in the wilderness, fueled by a promise that God Himself placed in your heart. This is the moment to fan that flame into a blaze and act on the truth you have been guarding so closely. You are destined to rise above them all. There are times when the turning point in life arrives abruptly, like a bolt of lightning that cracks the night sky, instantly illuminating everything in its path. Other times, it comes as a gentle whisper, a small nudging in your soul that says, "Trust now. Move now." The important thing is your response. You have heard the encouragement, sensed the confirmation, and felt the stirring. It is time to do something about it. Look at the obstacles before you and declare, "My God is bigger." Confront the voices of inadequacy telling you to stay small, and speak the truth that the One who lives in you is greater than any limitation. Dare to believe that every delay was setting the stage for this pivotal hour, and that no matter how high the odds stack against you, the highest authority has already decreed your victory. This is the call to action, the point where belief becomes boldness. If you have felt uncertain or weak, step forward anyway. Even a trembling step can trigger a mighty shift in your circumstances. When you choose to act on the promise that God will reward your perseverance, you align yourself with heaven's power. The ground beneath your feet may seem shaky, but the rock upon which you stand does not waver. The same God who breathed stars into the sky is ready to breathe new life into your situation. Your part is to say yes, to refuse to let fear paralyze you any longer, and to move forward convinced that the reward is already making its way toward you. Close your eyes and picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast sea, facing waves that once filled you with dread. In your hand is a staff of faith, a divine symbol of the authority God has given you. As you stretch it out over the waters, you can almost hear them parting to reveal a path where there seemed to be none. This is the reality of your spiritual inheritance. Obstacles will turn into open doors when met with unwavering trust. Every time you choose faith over fear, you drive a stake into the ground, declaring that you will not be moved by circumstances. And every time you declare the promises of God, the unseen realm responds, realigning conditions in your favor. You may not understand exactly how the breakthrough will look, but the clarity will come as you move. Action unlocks revelation. As you walk, the path will light up before you. As you move forward, solutions will manifest, allies will appear, and strength will be renewed. This is your moment, and heaven is waiting for your yes, your declaration that you will not shrink back. Speak life into your dreams, into your family, into your finances, into your health. Say it out loud if you have to, reminding yourself and the forces of darkness that you know who you are and whose you are. This is your call to rise, your final stand against the illusions of defeat, your bold claim on the promise that has always been yours. Breathe in the atmosphere of possibility. Let go of every weight holding you back, and lift your eyes to the one who has already paved the way. Nothing about this call to action is casual. It requires all of you, your heart, your will, your courage, to come into agreement with a higher purpose that has been drawing you forward all along. Now is the time to step out of the shadows, to claim your inheritance, and to walk in the reality that God's reward is not just a distant hope. It is near, and it is yours. There is a hush that follows this kind of boldness, a silence in which heaven anticipates your response. Will you move, or will you remain as you were? Know this: when you decide to move, you do not move alone. God's presence surrounds you, angelic hosts accompany you, and the entire kingdom of light stands ready to back you in your pursuit of destiny. Let your heart be stirred beyond words, let your faith arise beyond measure, and take that step. This is your call to action. Answer it with the confidence of someone who knows they have already been called, chosen, and empowered to overcome. In the stillness that follows, you may find your heart racing with a mixture of fear and excitement, but that is only confirmation that you stand on holy ground. Boldly declare that you will not leave this place the same. Embrace the promise. Trust in the timing. And as you move, watch God reveal the reward that has been waiting all along to astonish you with its grace. Let your soul drink in the magnitude of this moment. You have come so far, risen through so much, and held on even when every fiber of your being wanted to let go. The truth is, you were never alone. A divine hand was guiding you through every storm, through every heartache, and through every silent cry in the night. Now, like a gentle dawn breaking over the horizon, the promise you have longed for is emerging into view. The final chapters of your hardship are giving way to a new beginning, saturated with light and overflowing with God's goodness. In this conclusion, let your heart open wide to the future that beckons. It does not matter how unworthy you once felt, how deep your mistakes seemed, or how many times you stumbled along the path. Grace is a force that defies human logic, stepping in to turn what was broken into an even more beautiful story. The waiting has not been wasted, but rather a preparation for greater things than you ever imagined. All that remains is for you to stand in awe as the promise unfolds. Breathe in the fresh air of hope, for it is here to stay. The cycles of defeat are coming to an end, replaced by a steady climb into the destiny that carries your name. There is a stirring of celebration in heaven that resonates with the freedom blossoming in your spirit. Every day from this point on can be filled with a renewed assurance that you are favored by the one who holds the universe in his hands. Though challenges may still arise, you will face them differently now, armed with the knowledge that you are not a victim of circumstances, but a victor crowned with divine purpose. Your story, once marked by uncertainty and pain, is becoming a testament of resilience and triumph. This new season is not just a fleeting burst of blessing, it is the unveiling of who you truly are, a cherished child of the Most High, called to shine with a radiance that cannot be snuffed out. Let the final echoes of these words remind you daily that you will rise above them all. God's reward is not a mere possibility. It is a certainty aligned with His unwavering love for you. Whenever you feel doubts creeping back in, recall the countless ways He has shown you mercy, provided when resources were scarce, and comforted you when hope was thin. Those memories are an altar of testimony to which you can always return, a living proof that if He did it before, He can and will do it again. You are stepping into a chapter where your faith is not merely a shield against hardship, but a magnet for miracles. The trials and tears that once defined your nights will now serve as reminders of how light always breaks through. Allow gratitude to fill the spaces where fear once resided. Gratitude for the grace that found you, for the strength that sustained you, and for the promises that have yet to fully unveil their beauty. When you stand in that posture of thanks, you open the door for even more blessings to pour in, ensuring that your cup overflows in every realm of life. This is the conclusion, but it also marks a new beginning. You do not need to shrink back into the shadows of the past. Step boldly into this dawn, certain that your voice matters, your presence is needed, and your heart carries a message of unwavering hope for a world in search of light. Let your spirit rejoice, for you are no longer waiting for permission or waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time has come. Go forward with courage, remembering that every promise God has spoken over you was never empty. Your life is a canvas painted with triumphs only heaven could have orchestrated, and every stroke of hardship has contributed to the masterpiece that is emerging before your eyes. Embrace it all with outstretched arms, allowing the glorious fulfillment of God's reward to wash over you like a tidal wave of divine love. This is your turning point. This is your rise. This is your reward.